Dan's a little shorter than what I thought. That was awesome, Dan. Great job. I'll stand back some. I talk loud.
It's not loud enough.
I will be.
Louder.
Hey everybody, I'd like to thank Patty for ask me to do this. I was super hesitant about it because I'm a current paramedic. I just worked yesterday. Dan's not wrong. Our system is a mess right now. We left the city last night. And there were 7 pending 911 calls that we could not send an ambulance to. And now we have a mandate that they're going to release a whole bunch more of us. So I don't understand what's going on. So Dan, thanks for all that. Yeah, we have a really hard job, and my speeches are going to be a little bit different today. I sat and wrote it the other night, and it certainly, I'm used to being on stage. I'm a country artist, so for me just to talk about something is a little different. But I'm going to do it right now, and I'd like to say hi to my buddies out there, and I believe Kendall's here, and it's his birthday today, so happy birthday, Kendall. There he is. I saw it this morning. All right. My name is Kevin Davison. I'm a 25-year paramedic and a 30-year firefighter. I'm also a touring country artist, but first, I want to talk about me being a first responder. When I was 3 years old, I lived in a house overlooking the New Minas Volunteer Fire Department. As a small child, I remember hearing the siren roar on top of the station, and me running to the window just to see the fire trucks driving down the road. Sometimes it was at 2 a.m. I even stood there watching them return, even for an hour, just because I was worried I was going to miss seeing them go to another call or another truck was going to respond. The excitement never left me. And at the early age of 18, when my dad let me, who's here today, I was finally able to ride on those fire trucks. Not being able to get that smile off my face. At times, today, even 30 years after joining the fire department, I still often smile when I'm going to help you guys. I dedicated my life to helping people. Whether you were white, black, gay, straight, believer in God, or a different race, everybody was equal. I remember thinking, thank you. I remember thinking we all feel, bleed, and we're all human. I did not discriminate, and there was never a time people were not welcome in my house, or in my car, or in my life. Divide was something that I would never take part in, as long as I lived. I always believed that the rich have nothing over the poor, and money was the root of all evil, even though I like to have it. I guess where I want to go with this right now is back to my grandfather, because I like to talk about him a little bit because he's a World War II vet. He's still my hero. Even though he died when I was around 20 years old, he taught me a lot of things. And one thing he always taught me, because he used to tell me stories when he was drinking, is to always stand up for yourself, Kevin. Never watch people get put down, never watch them get bullied, and always stand up for your country. Always stand up for your country. Always was in my head. I never forgot those words from him. I looked up to him in a manner that the world are as close as in your own backyard. Even in the best countries in the world, you still need to watch your back. And if things go astray, never back down. If people ever try to take your freedoms as a Canadian. My grandfather, although not having much education, being a severe alcoholic because he was shell-shocked or PTSD like some of us suffer from, being on an ambulance for so long. And what he witnessed overseas was just unbearable. He always said, be prepared to stand up for you, your friends, your family, and most importantly, your country. I never forgot that. So today, I stand in front of you as a 25-year paramedic. Well, I got my 25 years this year, but it's really been 26. The world sort of shut down for a year or something. I have dedicated and risked my life, like my papa did, to make sure perfect strangers were safe. In a way, I'm doing what my grandfather did. I suffered from mental health injuries, like my grandfather. He stopped evil from ruining the best country in the world. Now, I stand before you, getting prepared to leave my office because the mandates are saying if I am not vaccinated, I will no longer be able to serve my country. Can you imagine if you were told that your rights as a Canadian are now gone and you are no longer allowed to help your fellow human because you're going to be forced to take something you know nothing about? In a few short weeks, my life will potentially change forever, as I may never be able to put on my uniform and serve my fellow humans. This is the worst kick in the face I have ever had happen to me. I have been sick with several viruses, knowing that one of those viruses could potentially kill me. I brought home sickness to my family time and time again, and not only risked my own life, but my kids' lives as well. My marriages have ended because of the struggles that first responders have, due to the continuing trauma that we see on a daily basis. We ruin ourselves mentally and physically and keep going and going because our lives are based on helping you. Your lives are often more important than our own. Now, we have coercion and a tyrannical behavior from our leaders. I and many other first responders will be told to go home with no pay, and we will now not be able to support our families. This is a world that we are now living in. I have lost so many of my closest friends and have countless messages on my phone with the same sentiment. I would not be here if it weren't for my children. Countless messages. I would like to take Justin Trudeau and Tim Houston on a little ride along on an ambulance. So if they're listening right now, come on out. I'd like to take them out and show them what they've actually done to our human race. The violence, the alcohol abuse, the drug abuse, and the suicides that have gone through this roof are almost unbearable. That is a real pandemic. COVID is real, and I would never say it isn't. But you never come out of a pandemic vaccinating the entire race with a vaccine that they are starting to prove that some are still dying with both shots. I don't disagree with vaccines because I have many of them. But I do disagree with the push, as there must be another agenda that we do not see as of yet. In closing, back to my music for a minute. I tour and I travel throughout North America. I did. I have had an amazing run after writing a song that went worldwide about first responders and the challenges that we face, right, Dan? Mr. Trudeau has taken this away from me as well. No planes and no trains for the unvaxxed. Not only am I going to lose my job as a paramedic, but he has stopped me from doing what I love, stopped me from my therapy by going and helping other first responders. Now my second career is now at a halt. It is harder and harder to wake up in the mornings. Every morning feels like a bad dream. I want to wake up and not worry about feeding my kids or losing my house. I want this country to be free again. And I want to make my grandfather smile in heaven. As I don't... Thank you. It's really, this world's turned into our country sure has turned into a communization for sure. It's really sad. Let's stand up to these mandates. Let's stand together. Vaxxed or not, if you're vaxxed, I love you. If you're unvaxxed, I love you too. All right? Let us be as one, even if those that think this is going to end without a fight, because it's going to. I'm in this for the long haul, and trust me, I will be fighting until the very end. Thank you very much.